Hello everyone. I just wanted to say a few things first of all. We always try to use safety. We always take that into big consideration in everything we do. And also, I wanted to say that what happened in Newtown, Connecticut is a shame. It's really a bad thing. The guy was mentally disturbed, and he went in there and he shot people with a semi-automatic rifle just like this one. Now there's some people that decide in Washington and some other state capitals that they want to ban some assault rifles. Well, a couple things. First of all, they don't even know usually what an assault rifle is. They just want to ban everything. And also, secondly, rifles do not kill people. People actually have to fire them. I know, it sounds amazing, but someone actually has to pull the damn trigger. Guns don't fire by themselves. Just like cars. They say SUVs kill people. Believe it or not, SUVs, they don't drive themselves. Someone still has to stand behind the wheel and steer it and control gas and brakes. I know it makes it hard to believe. That's really how it is. So I hope that someone who is actually thinking about doing something like that actually watches this. I know that in reality it's not likely to happen. That's just how it is. But like I said, now be it, if they would do something, they'd be taking away our Second Amendment rights, and we need that to also, so we have a defense against our government, because the government is overreaching, and we need to be armed so that to keep that under control. That's one reason why that was written into the Constitution back in 1787. So that's why the Second Amendment is very important, and they wanted us to be armed against the British, because the British actually had put something out there that they wanted to disarm us back before the Revolution. That's why that got written in there. A lot of people do not know that. Some kind of skirmish is well related to that. I don't think it was the Boston Tea Party. That was taxation, and I could be wrong. I'm sorry, but there was something related to them wanting to disarm us. Oh, that's what the Paul Revere's ride was related to. He was actually riding through to let the people know that we need to get to the armories and get our rifles, because the British were going to seize them, and people could have been arrested, and of course they might have been shot by the British. That's where all that goes back to. But the important thing is, now that's why it got written into the Constitution. And now back in current days, people want to take away the Second Amendment rights. That's not a good thing. Disarming the citizenry only disarms the law-abiding citizen. The problem is, the criminals, they don't care. Why would they care? They're going to break the law anyway. So the criminals don't care. They're going to break the law anyway. So all they're going to take weapons away from is the citizenry. What sense does that make? Only allows the government to control us more. And if we do take away the rifles and that, the criminals, they'll still find a way to get a hold of them. They'll still be ways on black market and everything. If you want to get a rifle bad enough and you don't care about breaking the law, there are ways to do it. And that's one thing that will never change. There was a Marine, I believe the guy was a Marine. Unfortunately, I'm not sure on that. And please accept my apology, sir, if you were not a Marine. But there was a guy who wrote a letter to Senator Dianne Feinstein. She's from California. She's definitely one of the anti-gun people. She wants to take away this rifle. And the reality is, the bill was written probably long before the Newtown incident occurred. The philosophy of the liberal Democrats and the anti-gun people is, don't waste a crisis. So that means what you do, if something like this happens, you get the bill out there while you can. Power it through while you can. Because they don't, otherwise it won't go through. And just like anything else, there's no need for it to go through. If the police would actually enforce the current laws we have, and they do. I'm not trying to say they don't. So please accept my apology to any police people watching. Any law enforcement people. They do their jobs. They enforce what they're supposed to do. Having extra laws out there only takes away weaponry from the citizenry, the law-abiding citizen. And the best way to for a government to put on their will on the people is to disarm the citizenry. An armed citizenry controls the government. There are some limitations of what they can do. But if they take away the weapons, the citizenry has no recourse except for just to put up with whatever comes down the way, unfortunately. So to the member of the military who wrote the letter, Dianne Feinstein, all right, he's right. And the NRA, keep up the good fight. And hopefully people that come down to it still stick to their guns and do not support a bill that would ban assault rifles, because it's the beginning of a slippery slope. Once they ban that, the shootings will still occur because the mentally disabled people will still get a whole weaponry. Where you go back even to the one that occurred near here, Nickel Mines in Pennsylvania, the Amish shooting. I'm not sure anymore if he had an assault rifle or not, but he went in there and he was a mentally disturbed person who shot him. And it's a shame. And I feel sad for the Amish, and it's really wrong what he did. But if he did not have an assault rifle, what happened next time is, next time when someone's with a hunting rifle, it'll be like, oh, now we have to ban hunting rifles. Or handguns, whatever the weaponry was used to do it. Or they'll just decide, you know what, why don't we ban them all, so that way it doesn't happen again. Which, from the outside, it sounds good, except for the simple fact that the criminals will still get their guns anyway. It doesn't matter, there's nothing they can do to keep the criminals from getting guns. Unfortunately, you have politicians that want to make you feel good. That's their philosophy. They can say, I did something for you when they run for re-election. I did something good. Nah, they didn't do anything good. All they did was take away your freedoms. And right now, unfortunately, we're having a lot of freedoms taken away from us. It would be a shame to lose one more. And the Second Amendment is one of the most important. The other thing is this. If they make you even register these guns, that's also a problem. The reason why that's a problem is when the government then decides to ban them, oh, they know that John Smith on Main Street, he has a rifle that we're banning. So just go in there and just take your rifle. The next go around, what they do is they do one thing at a time. And as you get used to one thing, then they say, okay, now we can go progress to this step. They don't, it's like going from step 1 to step 2 to step 3. They don't go from step to step 3 right away, because then people will be in an uproar. That's something else that's very important to note in terms of how things are done by the politicians. Also, some guns, and rifles as well for that matter, could have been sold in the black market. Could be registered to one person, and then they sold it off just in a private sale. Not necessarily black market, but just private sale. Because I can sell a rifle to anybody, any of my friends. Some states require you to register guns and rifles. New York is one in particular, from what I understand. And it makes sense. You got liberal politicians. They want to control as much of you as they can. And they want to make sure they doubly know what's going on with weaponry. And of course, though, like anywhere else, the guy always said the criminals don't find their guns. And law-abiding citizens, they do need to be armed to defend themselves from the criminals. What the press does not put in there is the number of times that people have had guns and weaponry and fought back someone who's shot. That's all something that's very important. It doesn't get put out in the news. That's because their liberal agenda that does not support their liberal agenda. They want to take away the guns. The guns are actually being used to shoot a perpetrator or keep them from doing, because even if someone's armed, whether it be a school or whatever, that would keep a lot of the shootings down. I do know Columbine had an armed person or two there, But the reality is, except for that instance, I'm not aware of any shootings that occurred at schools or any other place where there are people that were armed there. Just like on the airplanes now. Now that you have air marshals on there, you haven't had any kind of shooting incidents on airplanes. That same thing would happen with schools. If someone would be armed there, it doesn't have to be a security guard or a police officer. It could be a teacher. And actually, a lot of teachers are taking weaponry courses to be armed. If I was a teacher, I would. Because the life you save could be your own, as well as the students. If someone would barge in there, I'd rather be armed if I was in a place. And the other side of the coin is this. Mental institutions have been closed. In Pennsylvania, where we are, the only one I'm aware of that's still open is Danville. Harrisburg was closed, and there's another one somewhere else that was closed as well. So you have more people out on the streets that are mentally disabled, that have issues, that should be in these hospitals. And that's a simple matter of fact. That's also part of the reason why we're having these shootings. Most of the people that have done these shootings probably should be in a state hospital. But because of the fact that those places have been closed, they're running around. In some cases, I mean, hey, they had to be closed for various reasons. They needed to be closed, I'm sure. But no matter how you look at it, as I've been saying, people kill people, not guns. Adam Lanza from Connecticut did the shooting up there in Newtown. He was mentally disturbed. His mom tried to do the right thing by teaching him how to use the gun. I don't think she certainly did not mean for him to go into the school armed with an assault rifle and shoot people. She definitely did not mean that, for certain. And if he was not mentally disturbed, he wouldn't have done it. He felt that she loved the school and the kids there more than she loved him. And that's a shame. That's just a shame. But no matter what the reason was, it's sad and it shouldn't have been done. And if he had been in a hospital, which is where he should have been, because she was having trouble with him, that's the one instance where he probably would have been in a state hospital instead of running around. So that's just one case where maybe the state hospital should be open somewhere as well. I hope the information I just gave is helpful. And it's true to the best of my knowledge, and it's my opinion as well. But like I said, in short, like I said several times, people control things. And it's people that kill people. It's not, weaponry does not fire by itself. Never happened. Up until today anyway. In the future, who knows, maybe weaponry will fire by itself. But at least not right now, it does not happen. So, have a good day. Thank you. Thank you for watching.